You need to know who the true Hebrew Israelites are. You need to go and study. I don't need to make this go 40 more minutes trying to teach you who the true Hebrew Israelites are. There's enough messages and teachings out there on it. And if you go read your Bible, you'll clearly know who they are. You can't hide a white Jesus in Egypt and expect him to blend right in. It ain't going to happen. You ain't going to mistake Paul for an Egyptian if Paul's a white person. You ain't going to have Moses be able to walk right or be carried right into the house of Pharaoh and pass as one of his sons if he's a white baby. It ain't going to happen. So let's just get to the bottom line here, okay? They're brown-skinned people. Simple. But then you got the Christians out here that they went and the Catholics had changed that. They whitewashed the whole thing. And then you got people who are supposed to be getting back to the book, back to the truth. They're still trying to whitewash it.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren
and I'm Maureen.
Yeah, so in today's video we're going to be reacting to a video where a black American sister, I feel like these videos are very important for those who do them because they get to educate the mass, you know. Yeah. And she was just talking about how people need to read the Bible and how black people suffering in America and really anywhere else in the world, how it is correlated to the Bible. So you guys, please watch and hear carefully what our sister has to say, and then we come back and talk about it.
My guy. So as y'all know, Mississippi just passed the Jim Crow law. You know, just history repeating itself. But there's something that y'all don't know. And I need all my people to listen. We gotta wake up. Cause it's that time. See, cause what y'all don't know is the Jim Crow law is actually associated with the Bible and the curses that was put upon his people. So I want to answer this woman's question.
I'm so fucking scared. It has just come to my attention because I didn't know about it just until today. In Mississippi, there was just a law passed like 5 days ago that the Jim Crow laws are being reinstated. That shouldn't be happening at all. And I know you may be wondering, this is like not my normal content on here, but I'm sorry, and I just have to make this known because what the actual why I really don't understand why people do not like me, do not like us because of my color of skin. I don't understand. I really don't fucking understand. What the did I do?
You didn't do nothing. But our ancestors did. The Jim Crow is resurrected in Mississippi. Did wokeness do this? As a matter of fact, it did. Now, some of us who have learned the truth are not surprised by this. It may alarm the sleepwalkers. The Most High have already told us that they will have hatred towards us. All you gotta do is read the word and the curses put upon his people. See, their problem is they finally starting to realize that they wicked rulership is almost up. But I ain't gonna lie, we finna go through some battles, and it's gonna get worse before we leave. We warned our people that are sleepwalking that these nations hate us. And it has nothing to do with skin color. It's because of who we are. The tribe of Judah. The real Jews. It was prophesied that we would be hated throughout the four corners of the earth. What y'all need to find out and learn is that the Bible is our history book, not a Christian book. Our ancestors were not Christians. They was Israelites. It's time for y'all to learn the truth. And this has nothing to do with religion or tradition. My motto will forever be relationship over religion, truth over tradition. It's that time. It's time for y'all to learn who y'all are. And it's time for y'all to gain a relationship with the Father through his word, not a religion. Now we gonna start off with, who is this? Who is this? Cause the show ain't Yahshua. Cause if the Bible's saying that his hair is white like wool, and I mean white like wool, just like this, where did the brown hair even come from? If it said his skin color was the color of fine brass, burnt in a furnace, and I mean burnt in a furnace. This is an actual picture right here of someone burning fine brass. Then where the that y'all get white from? Or even the olive skin color y'all keep claiming. Y'all just don't want him to be black so bad. Y'all just make up any lie. And he was born in Israel, which is Northeast Africa. Y'all stop saying Middle East. It was not called the Middle East back then. It was a part of Africa. So you mean to tell me when they have to hide Jesus, Yeshua, in an all-black place in Africa to blend in with the people, you saying that they hid a white man or an olive skin color man in a place full of black people? It's impossible. Which is common sense that he had to be black to blend in with black people. Now I'm finna tell you why his skin color got something to do with the Jim Crow law and them trying to bring back hanging and lynching. Now in the Bible, Pilate's wife had a dream about the Messiah. When she seen that the people was trying to kill him, she pulled her husband aside and said, "Have nothing to do with this righteous man." She said, "I suffered much suffering in a dream today. Have nothing to do with his killing." So Pilate turned to the people and said, "I don't see nothing wrong that this man is doing for me to kill him." Pilate was talking to the Hebrews, our people. He said, "If y'all decide to kill this man, the blood will not be on my hands, it will be on y'all's." So then the Jews, aka Hebrew Israelites, mistakenly said, "It's okay. Put it on our hands, our children's hands, for generations and generations. Crucify him." So then it was so. So from then on, we was cursed to die the same way he died. Now they like to tell y'all that he died on a cross, but that is far from the truth. The cross is one of the main graven images that he talks about in the Bible. The word cross was never even in the Bible to begin with. It was added in there from a pagan god they called Tammuz. The cross is a symbol of the first letter of his name, a T. Now, if you look at the history during those times, you would know that if you were worthy of death, you had to be hung. It was the law. Acts 5:30 even told you that he died from hanging from a tree. There was a divine curse placed on a hanged person. And if a man has committed a crime punishable by death, and he is put to death, you hang him on a tree. For a hanged man is cursed by God. And when they had carried out all that was written of him, they took him down from the tree and laid him in his tomb. The same way they do us till this day. For what our ancestors have committed, it allowed us to be punished the same way he was punished. I'ma show y'all the curses that was put upon us. Slavery and captivity. Having no power to stand against our enemies. Being sent back to Egypt again by ships. Exiled in the land of our enemies. Scattered among all nations. A very sick and disease-stricken people. At the bottom socially with other races high above us. Lost the true knowledge of who we were and will be called by many scornful nicknames other than Israel and Hebrew, which is still happening to this day. Packed into prisons and jails. A non-properous people. We even hate each other and oppress people by our enemies. The world will not tell you who or where the Israelites are today, but the scriptures will. There's nothing new underneath the sun. There is nothing new. Our sons and daughters will be given to another nation while your eyes grow weary looking for them day after day with no power in your hand. With no power in your hand. With none at all. The cross story couldn't be real if they wanted it to. How did they nail his feet and hands to a cross? When it says that he protected all his bones, not one of them is broken. There would be no way to hammer a huge nail into someone's foot to hang without breaking a bone. There's no way. This is the real reason why no bones shall be broken. The sad reality is, if we continue to disobey, we'll continue to pay. So please, it's time for us to wake up. Stop letting them brainwash you and make you forget who you are. Stop letting them make us feel like we are nobody, because they know who we are. Our people back then just didn't know how to read and write. So they didn't know that the Bible back then was made for them. They felt like it was a horrible, horrible book. But they didn't realize the truth was inside of it. But now it's our time to make up for it. That the truth of who we are is inside of it. Our time is coming, and they know it. The Bible is our true history book.
So guys, you've had to hear what our sister here is talking about, and I feel like she's touched on a lot of topics and she's talked about a lot of things, and what I want to stress on is our sister talking about the Bible was not made for Christianity. The Bible is our history book, and she said that our ancestors were not Christians, so she says the book was not made for religion purposes but for our history, for us to study and understand our history. She also says that because there's also another lady there who was crying, so she says that whatever is happening in America, and to be specific, the Jim Crow laws, these are all things that are written in the Bible and must come to pass until black people wake up and see the light. To be honest, I didn't know, because I don't live in America. I didn't know what the Jim Crow law was, so I had to Google, and on Google I see, so you guys, you can correct me or educate me on the comment section if there's something I'm getting wrong. So from what I understand is the Jim Crow law encourages racial segregation. So meaning if it's passed, which it's already passed in Mississippi, then black people are going to go back into the days where they used to be segregated. Things used their own toilets. Exactly. Things used to happen to them because they're black, and the white population was given a priority. That is essentially what it means, but you can correct me if I'm wrong, right? So this lady is saying, fear not, and of course it's scary, and she's saying also these things are not happening to you because you're bad people or because you did something, but it's because our ancestors did something to Jesus, and now this is the consequences we have to live with, to pay. And she says unless you obey, you will still keep on paying. I don't know if you get what I'm saying, right? And she also says, you guys, why white people are doing this to you, to everybody in the world, to everybody who is black in the world, is because the white, well, in her own words, she says it's because the white race fears the black race, because the white race knows exactly who the black race is, and the white race is afraid of repercussions of having enslaved the black race, and how when the time comes they are going to meet their true consequences. And another thing also is I've been seeing around, people talking about how the Bible was altered, how they changed things from names of people, names of places, to representation of biblical figures, so that they could control the black race. And they also changed who Jesus is and how he died, because this sister is revealing that he was hanged and he wasn't crucified. My question is, why did they need to do all of these things? And I'm also asking myself, how is it that these Snobanis knew about all these things, and black people, it took us time for us to know about this? But in the defense of black people, I really would say, even in the time of colonialism in our own countries in Africa, people didn't know how to read and write. The white people, they knew how to read their technologies and write their own technologies, but black people didn't know. That is why they took longer to maybe know and understand the Bible, and some of them would even resist the Bible because, if Jesus has been represented as a white Jesus, and the same white people are the ones oppressing you, mutilating you, doing all these evil things to you, and a higher religious figure is in their color, you get why blacks, it took them time to know what the Bible truly was, and it was an indication of their history. That makes sense, because I feel like if I'm going to steal and rob from a place, it's because I already know what is there, you understand, right? And now there might be a few locals who might not know the full potential of that place, and that's why Africa looks the way it does, because people don't really, I know they know the potential, but Anyway,
they know, but they don't know.
They don't know. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, and also why the white people needed to use religion to colonize people and to enslave people, and they were helped by the churches to do the same. You know,
and this
that
why
was the quickest way they could colonize and keep people under their power.
Yeah, and this why right now we stress on people need of people knowing their history, studying their history. We need to learn and know our history. You understand? Because in learning, we educate yourself and we inform ourselves. Why am I saying this? Even in Africa right now, I'll keep on repeating this. There are people who still believe Jesus is white. A lot of people. I for one would have been one of those people if I was not in content creation and into doing research. But it's because I'm into content creation and also I do a lot of research. I came into this information. But I know even my peers who really don't know that Jesus was black. So through this we educate ourselves. When you look at the history of Africa, we still in schools we are still being taught about the white man in the most positive, that white supremacy, so that that it still exists and it's still ruling our waves. We are still being colonized because kids growing up are being taught how to put white people as first priority and then their own people as the second priority. Yeah, and how the white man is very productive, how Africa is not succeeding because there are no smart people in Africa. So when you grow up, you want to go to America because America is where you'll find land of opportunities, is where you will get to think and your brain will open up because of white people.
Yeah, and as much as it might be true to some degree that maybe, I don't know, black people in America, in the Caribbean, you guys have lived with white people longer than we have even seen white people. So you might know between white people and black people who is more educated, I feel like for
not educated, but
yes, I feel like for one, this is usually a very unfair comparison because when you go to a white man's school and see how they're taught, they're given everything. But when you go to a black man's school and see how they're taught in America, they are deliberately starved of the knowledge to know. You get? And this is systemic so that black people can stay in the position where they are at while white people excel. And even at that, they're failing in their own systems because black people, white people, they're becoming poor. They're becoming poor. So for those people in our comment section who don't agree with the statement, please leave us a comment on what you think about this episode, and you can also tell us what the sister said in the videos. Do you agree with her? Do you disagree with her? Let us know in the comment section.
Yeah, what is the most important that I'm going to leave you with is that I know a lot of our audience are already woke and they know their history, but there are those of us who are still learning. So I will just say, learn your history. Nothing will be used against you when you know.
Yeah, so please remember to subscribe to our channel if you have not, and we'll see you in our next video.